Today we're going to the beach with some gnomes. Um, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Alright, we're starting off with, I've pre-prepped some tapered square nails, which we're going to be using medium length. Starting off with Beetles. Oh boy. And we're just going to, this is the sky for the beach scene, so we're just putting this on the top little portion, about the top third of the nail. Oh, of course, there's our hair. At least one. I see another one, unless that's just part of my brush sticking up there. And we're going to cure those, and boop, we're out here for the second coat. Now actually we could have done the sand part, this part, and then cured, so I only had to cure twice instead of 4 times, but oh well. And we'll be ready to cure that again. And moving on to the sand, I'm using this Venalisa Mud Gel. We're only going to be using 1 coat of this color, and I had forgotten to soften my brush before I started this, so it's all stiff. Okay, now I've got it straightened out. And I see another hair on there now. Honestly, I see so many more things when I'm watching this playback than when I'm actually sitting there doing it. It doesn't matter that this is all streaky looking because, well, it's sand and it's not going to be a uniform color. Okay, and we're going to cure those in a sec. Okay, moving on. For the second coat, we're using this mud gel, but this is the one with the glitters, and it's got a little glitter and some crushed shell in it. It totally reminds me of beach sand, which is why I'm using it for this. It's got some pieces of, I don't know if those are foils or that or what, but I know it definitely has crushed shells in it. I guess it doesn't have any glitter, it just has the shells and those little bits of, I think they're foil. I'm not really even sure, to be honest with you. And that guy's about to pop off of there. I was having trouble with keeping that one on the nail stand. Okay, we're going to cure that now. And then we're moving on to the water with Beetles, and this is a glitter polish. I'm using the glitter because I wanted it to have the sparkly water look to it. Now you'll notice I'm carefully putting this on. We're going to be glomming these on real quick here after this one. This first one, yeah, I kind of was babying it, and I really don't need to, so. Also, it doesn't totally matter if the blue is streaky looking because it's water and it's not going to be a uniform color either. I did want to have a nice horizon line though that was straight, so that's why I'm babying that part, but the rest of this we're just kind of, this part where it comes onto the sand can be a little bit loopy and a little bit, uneven, as it would never be in a perfect straight line. Not that you're going to see all these little tiny details really anyway, but I guess that's my OCD. Okay, and there we go. Now we're just going to do the rest of them. Now I did not do 2 coats of this. I did go back and just tighten up a couple of them where it was super thin on there. Like these first couple, it's much thinner than it is as you're going to see me get farther along the line there. Now I didn't bother to do the white foamy bits that would be near the water and the sand edge because it's going to be so small and fine. With the gnomes and whatnot in front of there, you're just not going to notice it, and I didn't want to spend the extra time doing that. But you could totally put that in if you wanted to. You could use the bubble method if you wanted over some white, or the other one that I have not ever tried. I think it's alcohol they mix with it, or they spray on it or something. You could use blooming gel maybe. And you see how much thicker this one went on because I was just glomming. By the end of this one I was glomming it on more. So I am going to go back and I'm going to just fill in a little heavier on those couple that didn't get as much. So these have not been cured yet, so that's not the second coat. It's just, there's only going to be the one coat because that's all we really need. I just wanted to get it filled in a little better. This is the exact same blue that I just used on my my 4th of July set. Okay, these are the gnomes. I got them from Amazon, but down here, this is her website, meganscreationsus.com. I had bought, maybe a half a dozen different style of gnomes, and I've so far using this one here, and I've used the patriotic set for my 4th of July nails last year. So yeah, I have some fall gnomes, I have some Halloween gnomes. There might be another one in there that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Okay, now see how sheer these are? You can see through them. Now if you try to put that on that dark background, it's going to completely disappear and you will not see it. So what we have to do is firstly blot off any water that's on there gently. I'm just using a tissue. Then we are going to get some white gel paint out. And there it is. And we're going to overpaint the back of this with the white, so it will have a nice, that almost was a disaster. So it will show up when we put it on those dark background up there on those nails. Now this is the first time I've had to do this with decals. I've seen other people doing it. Usually I just stick them on. When I used these on my last year's 4th of July ones, the patriotic ones, I was putting them onto a white nail, so they showed up fine on there. So it wasn't an issue, but I can see that if I'm going to be putting this on any color other than white, I'm going to have to do this on all of them, which is really not that big of a deal. You just want to carefully paint over the design. Now also with these guys, and then you can check it, turn it over and check, and you'll see if it looks odd in some places. Okay, there's the difference. See how sheer that other one was, and now see how the color shows on the one we just painted with the white. That's why we got to do that. As I was going to say, turn it over and check and make sure you've covered everything. Also a note with these particular gnomes, the white part that's the beard is clear on the decal. It's not painted in. So if you're not putting it over white, you would have to paint that in anyway, because obviously wouldn't have a white beard then. Okay, whenever I'm happy with this, I'm going to throw it in the lamp. Now normally I cure painting gel for 90 seconds. I'm only doing 60 on these, leaving them a little slightly tacky, so that I can get them to stick to the nail easily. Going on with this guy, the surfboard guy, I'm going to do the same thing. Now once again, I had a little assembly line going where I had two, there'll be another one soaking right now for the decal while I'm working on these. I usually try to keep at least two going so I can, once I get one off of there, I'll put a new one on, let it soak while I put that first one on. Then I go back and get the one off the second stamper, deal with that one, and then I just keep adding them in and pulling them out. That way you're not sitting around waiting for stuff. You can just keep moving, which makes things a lot faster. FYI, this set took me about 2 hours to do. And we're going to just stamp him right on there where we want him. Our little beach ball gnome. He's ready to go. And moving on to the next one. Okay, I'm getting the next one ready to start soaking up there. While that other one that we painted over is in the lamp. Now we get this guy soaking. Now you also will notice I did not cut off very much of the decal part around the gnome, which I should have done. I started doing that part way through. I don't know why I didn't do it at the beginning ones. Okay. I really like this method of getting the decals onto the nails too, because you don't have to handle them. You don't have to try to deal with tweezers with them. Inevitably, when you're doing that, something gets curled up or wrinkled, or it gets stuck to something you don't want it on. I think it was after this one where I started trimming the decal part off around the edges closer. But here's our little snorkeling gnome. Kind of looks like an owl. These two stamper heads that I'm using are ones that I have ruined. You can see right there below his feet. There's a little cut in it right there where it's got a split. Okay, and we'll get this guy ready. The other one's in the lamp. Here's our little watermelon gnome. And as I also said, you want to turn these over and check before you put it in the lamp, just to make sure you've got everything covered. Okay, that one went in, this one's back out, and there's our snorkeling gnome. Now where it came from, I don't know, but there was some little glitter bits up here in my sky now. They must have been on the stamper and I didn't see them. I don't know, but I couldn't totally get them off. It's not that big a deal on there. And the watermelon gnome. Boop. There he is with his juicy watermelon, which sounds really good about now. We're getting a reprieve now. It's only we're not into triple digits. We're only in the 90s now, for at least for a week, unless something changes. That's a little tiny piece of good news for me anyway. I have been drinking so much water, you guys. I mean, I'm drinking like at least 2 to 3 liters of water a day, and I'm barely going to the bathroom. I mean, I'm sweating it out faster than I can get it in. All right, moving on. These are the 5D nail stickers. These came from Allie. They are still available on there. I saw them recently. Now these were extra sticky because I'm assuming because it's so hot that it's melted the glue that's on the back of these. So they were extra sticky and they stuck on really well. I didn't have any issues with the edges popping up like I sometimes do on these 3D stickers. So we're going to put a little starfish on there if I can get my glove out from under there. Now I could have painted some of these things on, but frankly I had the stickers already and I'm feeling lazy and it was hot in here. I just wanted to be done as soon as I could. Now that one's overhanging by a little bit, so we're just going to nip that off. Just a little tad right there, so that it is not hanging over the edge. Okay, moving on. We're not having very many of these on here. Another starfish. now on the thumb, originally I was not going to put any gnomes on there. I changed my mind later. Okay, right here we've got our sailboat out in the water. I went in with one palm tree, also which I could have painted on, but well, I'm halfway going to have to paint one on these other one. You'll see what happens as we move along here, but okay, and then I decided I guess I could squeeze a gnome in there, and I went with, there's one that has a snow cone, I went with that one. So now we gotta do the same routine with this guy. Now you don't need to put a whole ton of water on there, just enough for it to soak into the backing so it will release from the backing paper. And then we gotta dry him off and paint him up. Now I can see where these gnomes are very clearly on camera, but when I was sitting there actually doing this, it was really hard to see some of them because it just wasn't showing up. I kind of had to turn my stamper up on its side so I could see through it enough to see where the gnome was. But as I'm looking at it now, it's pretty easy to see, so I don't know why I wasn't able to see it in person very well. No, actually, as I'm thinking about it, since I had to paint all these guys on the back, I guess I could have just painted on the palm trees and the starfish and whatnot, since I had to have paint out anyway and my brush and all the whole 9 yards. Okay, we'll make his little hat. Looks like he has a helmet head. Okay, I think we're good, and in he goes. And he's in, he's out, and now he's back on. Now he's on the nail with his little pink snow cone. Okay, there he is. I'll do the other nails off camera. And here, let me think where we are here. Okay, we are going to now do, that's where we are so far. Gnomes are all on. We're going to get out. Now this is supposed to be yellow, but it's actually like a metallic-y gold. We're going to make a little sun on one of these and also on the other hand. Just going to make us a nice roundy little bright sun. Okay, and in it goes. Now we're going to get the black out, and I am going to just paint some really quick little seagulls on here. In hindsight, I'm wishing I hadn't put them on every nail like I did. I think it was a little much. Should have maybe just done it on a couple of them, but I got carried away. They were going so quick and easy, I just got carried away and kept going with them. It's just a little... I don't like that one. Hold on. He's got to go. And I think that leaves... Oh, I decided to go back over a couple of them because they were really light and thin, and then I decided I didn't like either of those two, so off they go and back on with the newer ones. This one got a fat wing. I thought about doing the little feet under there, but I'm like, no, stop fooling around. You're going to junk them up too much, and then you're going to make it worse. Okay, here's where we are so far. Those all going to go in to get cured. second now. Okay, in they go. Now we're out for top coat. I'm using my tempered top coat for these. And we're going to give them their top coat and trying to get extra good top coat around the 3D stickers. As if anything will be wanting to peel off, that would be those things. And we're almost there. Okay, then we will cure this, and then I will show you how I screwed them up. Here, just one of them. Alright, now are they in or are they out? Nope, they haven't gone in yet. Just going over them a little bit. Something must have looked a little off to me. Okay, they've been in and out. Now, this one had, where the sand part was, there was some stuff sticking out really far, some of those shell bits. So I decided I'm going to buff that down and smooth it off. Well, like an idiot, I just went over with one coat of top coat and I filed through the color. I managed to take the color off my palm trees because they're sticking up. So now we have to drag out paint, or actually I just pulled two colors of polish, both Beetles. It's kind of irrelevant on what colors they are. You won't have to do this step because you won't do the stupid thing that I just did, so I'm just going to paint over those where they were. Now, it's easy to paint these because they're 3D stickers, so they're raised up and you just have to kind of go along the top ridge of there. We got the trunks in, now we got to get the leaves on. Just need the tiniest little bit of this on here because we're not going to use very much. And just got to go over the palm fronds. Now, as I said, I could have painted these on in the first place and we would have avoided this, but, well, you know, apparently I like to make things more difficult for myself. Now, I haven't cured those trunks yet, so I have to be careful with this and not smudge the brown. And in case you're wondering why I don't have gloves on, when I sat down, I was on the second day of working on this, and all I needed to do was finish putting on the stickers and top coat. That was before I decided I was going to paint in a sun and some birds and now this part. So I figured I wasn't going to be at it very long, so I didn't glove up, and then, well, you saw what happened. And now we're out of shot, so you can't see what's going on. But I'm just painting over that. And we'll cure that, and then I'm going to give all of them a second layer of top coat, just because I don't trust these stickers, these 3D stickers, to stay on real well without it. I have had issues in the past with them wanting to peel up. Usually it's only if they're right near the very edge of the nail. And if they are, sometimes I like to run some nail glue right underneath that edge and stick them down really well, because that's where they're going to peel from if they're going to come off at all. If they're just at the very edge, or if they're hanging over by a little bit, stuff's going to get under there and cause them to like bubble up and peel off. And when I say stuff, I mean water and that kind of thing. But here we are, all done. You really have to look close to see the detail, but there are the gnomes at the beach. If you like them, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I upload a new tutorial every Saturday. Try to stay cool out there, guys. I'm trying. I will see you guys next week if I don't melt in the meantime. Bye-bye for now.